CRN TV is connecting you with the industry leaders who are protecting us from the latest security threats. Join me, Cass Cooper, as we highlight the expertise of women who are driving innovation and solving today's toughest cyber challenges. Welcome to Channel Women in Security. Greetings, everyone. My name is Cass Cooper, and welcome to Channel Women in Security with CRN.com. I'm so excited to be with a longtime friend. Christine, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Cass?
I'm doing great. So Christine and I crossed paths a lifetime ago, it feels like, and we have come back together in the channel, and she has been wildly successful as an attorney and is now at Palo Alto Networks as the managing senior counsel. I'm so excited for you to be here. Congratulations on all your success. Before we get started into questions, tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I am Christine Neptune, and again, Cass and I go way back.
Undergrad, y'all. Undergrad.
We've known each other for quite some time. It's always been a pleasure. I've always followed you as you continued on in your career as well, and you're successful as well. And I appreciate our friendship and the fact that we're still able to stay in touch and contact, even not as close as as we want to. But every time I get back into talking with you, it feels like it's a continuation of a conversation. So
Thank you,
it
friend.
has been my pleasure. So yes, I am at Palo Alto. I'm an attorney. I've been in the attorney space for about 16 years. I negotiate contracts. So as the sales teams go out and make deals, I go in and make those deals into reality by putting them into paper, 4 corners of a document, and negotiate those terms out. I have been in the technology space for probably about 10 out of the 16 years that I've been an attorney. I love the IT space. I love the growth that we're experiencing in this arena, and I love working within the channel space. I was at Ericsson prior to coming here at Palo Alto, and so it has been a ride. And there's a lot of things going on in this space, as you all know, and so I want to jump right into it.
Most people are questioning, like, where does legal fit into all of the things that we do with cybersecurity? How can partners specifically lean into what they need to know from a legal standpoint?
Yes, these are very, very good questions. I think the cybersecurity space is no longer just IT. It's about compliance. It's about legal risks. It's about business continuity. And that's where legal fits in. We are literally the thread that weaves all of these concepts together. We look at not only what technology is coming out there, but what are the laws that are currently out there? What laws are trending? Where is our governance going? And then we look at the future. How is this impacting our customers and what our customers need? And so legal, we are all in this space. We're in the space from a contract negotiations perspective, a product development perspective, and then the customer relationships perspective. So we are there from our ideal space is to be there from cradle to completion. Legal should always be involved. I always tell folks, get us involved early. As you're developing the product, we have product counsel out there, and I work a lot with product counsel. You have privacy counsel, you have information security counsel. We're there to make sure that companies are aware of what their governance guardrails are, and
Yeah.
also are aware of how we can push a little bit, because you have these broad statements that are out there, but we want to make sure we operate within those guardrails. Not everything that's seen as a block is actually a block.
A lot of times what we hear is, okay, what do I have to do? Absolutely have to have versus what I could be doing versus what I should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, knowing that this is not legal advice officially, this is your opinion, but what are some guardrails that people need to be aware of right now in the cybersecurity landscape?
Yeah, so everything right now is trending toward data privacy, data protection, that data protection addendum, the GDPR, and then California CCPA. They've recently updated the name, but it's all about really what all of this is governing is about protecting people's data, protecting personal data, and cybersecurity is really around that. And so, what are some of the guardrails that we have to be aware of? Know what the policies are. GDPR. You have California is what we all use within the states, because every state within the U.S. has a different privacy regulation. But CCPA, if you're following the California's privacy regulation, then you're good. For the most part, I'll put it that way. But within these policies, all it really truly is about podcast, it's about transparency. If you're going to do something with someone's data, let the customer know. Let the people know. Let your client know. And that's where the DPA comes in. That's where you have clauses like what's really big right now is generative AI. A lot of what you do, you let folks know what you're doing. We need to use these tools. You have to have generative AI. You have to be able to have machine learning in order for you to push forth a product nowadays. And in order for you to be able to provide your customer a state of the art, high tech, high value product. And it's all about transparency. That's where the negotiation comes in. And that's where these clauses within the contract are important. There isn't this gotcha, or what I can say is this is where the negotiation takes place. And as long as you have transparency, as long as you have that DPA, that data protection addendum, you outline here's the data that we collect from you, here's what we're doing for it, here are sub-processors. This is how this works. Within your clause, your AI clause, outline, we collect your data. We use it for this. We might use it for input so we can develop a product for you, but we won't put it into our output, meaning we won't identify your data if we're putting it out there to other third parties. We will have to use the data, but it's just all about transparency. The GDPR is it's one of the hardest privacy policies or regulatory policies that's out there, but it doesn't say you can't use data. It says let people know what you're doing with their data, their personal data, and then give them the option to pull out. Give them the option to say, no, I don't want you to use my data.
I think a lot of folks are using it internally for their own information data set and trying to get their arms around that. But for an external face client, I don't even know that a lot of people are adding from a partner perspective. What are some resources that people can use to even start adding an AI addendum to their contracts and their legal policies?
Well, that's a very, very, very good question. And a lot of companies, to your point, they struggle with this. A lot of partners, they struggle with this. And to be completely honest with you, a lot of companies don't know how to handle it. I think Palo Alto Networks has done a phenomenal job with addressing it head on. And the way that they've done it is they've made AI clauses a priority within the organization. It is a priority. And to be able to address our partners, to be able to address our customers' concerns, because we probably get questions about this daily. And so how do they go about it? You have to make it a priority. As we're juggling a lot of other things, you have to make it a priority. At Palo Alto, they have made it a priority because it is their business. Cybersecurity is their business, and they have to. Partners, I think they have a lot of different products within their space, IT products that they're offering, especially within the channel. I think making it AI, making privacy a priority, I think it's going to be very important in the times that we're living in now, and it has to be something that you put at the forefront of what your legal department, what your corporate governance department, what they're doing. And so when I say that, what I mean is this. There's an internal policy that you should have because your internal folks are creating products, creating relationships, building relationships across the channel. So they have to have a policy in place that they would need to follow as they're using. Everybody uses AI. Everybody uses machine learning. It's a part of our world.
So some of us that say that we're not using it, it's a misnomer. If you have a phone in your pocket, you're using AI. And so I think a lot of people are, okay, I'm not using ChatGPT, but I am using Copilot. Do I need to tell my client that I'm using Copilot on a regular basis and how? Or is it I'm using a, software to record and then I'm using that information to data output? I think some of us are kind of in that bridge between I'm using it to make my job easier and be more efficient versus I'm using it to be client facing and predicting and creating a product. Do you see you said transparency, you said make it a priority. Is there a third, leg to the stool that maybe people need to be leaning into, differentiating between personal use versus corporate use? What would you say to that?
I think absolutely. There is a difference. There is a line between, I think that is the third prong. It is corporate use versus private use. We all use it. We all use it. Everybody in every space in every realm on this earth. If you have a phone, you're using AI. You're using machine learning. And it's a part of our world now, and we're here. You're using AI with someone Transparency is good. Letting them know. They don't need to know all of your personal business. But if you are recording them and using AI for that, I think it's fair to be transparent. But they don't need to know that you created something with everyone already knows. They don't need to know the intimacies of your use.
Mhm.
In a corporate setting, however, there needs to be a policy put into place that governs the use of AI. I don't think that employees should put their company's personal data, unless it is a system that the company has endorsed and brought in, like use Gemini. The company has sanctioned the use of Gemini, right? They want us to use it. They want us to test it. They want us to create different processes through that. They even create competitions for us to do that because they
A
really,
little gamification. We love
yes,
that.
yes.
Listen, the cybersecurity world, we love a little gamification. Let's make it
Yes,
fun.
yes. So it's highly encouraged here. But also, we're not allowed to use anything else. So with saying that, with the one that we're allowed to use, you can put company's information in there. It's in a playground. It's in the company sphere. And when I was at Ericsson, it was the same thing. They had their internal AI thing that they use, and they encouraged us to use it, and it was theirs that they had created. There's a corporate policy around using AI to do your work, and it's usually use it for X, Y, and Z. And that actually transfers over to the contracts that we have with our partners, our end user license agreement with our end customers, and even the distributors, because we say we are a cybersecurity company. This is, again, that transparency. This is what we do. This is a policy that we have with our customer or with our employees, and they will not use X, Y, and Z for whatever, what have you. And then we even have, like, we have certain background checks that we have to go through. So they said, this is our stance on this. And so that's providing the transparency. Now, if you are to use a machine learning AI system outside of what your company has as sanctioned, that's at your own risk, right?
Mm,
And if you do use it, don't put any of your company's information in there.
can be
Don't
that
do it.
simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it. If you have a question about what is this, and just simply ask that question. Don't say, if Palo Out does this, don't do that. Just simply ask them, your AI, the tool that you're utilizing, ask them the question, but don't put identifying factors in there. So yeah, you can use it for your personal use outside, but keep your company's information out. Don't copy and paste a document in there in a system that your company has not sanctioned. Don't do that.
I think that's the key takeaway is as an individual user, these tools are here and they're available, but be discerning and be smart and be wise. And I think that's just in general with cybersecurity. You have to be wise with where your data is going. It's almost using the information that we already have and the guardrails and governance that we already have in existence to take us one step further. What I hear you saying, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is we don't have to reinvent the things that have already served us well within the cybersecurity space within AI. It is an extension of, not something new to our space. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Okay. This has been a riveting conversation. Listen, we could talk for hours, but I want to be conscientious of your time as well as our listeners' time. But I always ask this question at the end. What is a book that everybody needs to have on their bookshelf?
Well, I'm going to say a podcast because I
Okay.
haven't had as much time to read,
You
but I
know,
love.
that's true because listen, parenting,
Yeah.
who has time
Yeah.
to read a book that
Yeah.
isn't, Good Night
Yeah.
Moon, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I listened to podcasts instead. And so I listened to this podcast called How I Built That. I don't know if you
Yeah.
it talks about how different things were developed by different. It runs the gamut. It talks about how inventions were made. It could be like a technology concept. It could be like a product, but it's how I built that. And I think it was spun off by NPR. And so that's the podcast I listen to and I go to because you get a lot of little nuances of how people built different things in advanced technology. So I've been listening to that for years now.
Did you ever watch the show Unwrapped back in the day?
Yeah, I did.
It very
Yes.
much gives Unwrapped.
Mhm.
I love it. Awesome. Well, Christine, thank you so much for your time. Again, I thank everybody for listening. This has been Channel Women in Security from CRN.com. Please like and subscribe if you like more content like this. Thank you for watching Channel Women in Security from CRN TV. Be sure to subscribe for more stories from the women who are shaping cybersecurity, breaking barriers, and making their mark on the channel ecosystem.